and welcome to All About You, a program designed with all of you in mind. And today we are going to learn how to deal with rejection. You know that there's a lot of people that face rejection out there, and probably you are one of them actually. Just like me, it happened to me as well, and I believe it happened to you as well, ladies.
Yes.
Has this ever happened to you? Tell us a little bit about your experiences.
It's happened to me. My love life, I remember there was a situation where I took the courage to speak to someone. It was right out in front of the church, so hopefully, I think there were people there watching. But I took the courage because, you know, I saw this person and it looked like this person was looking at me as well. So I went to him and I said, okay, you know, I like you. Would you like for us to start talking and stuff like that? And I was expecting him to say yes. But then he turned around and said, no, I'm talking to someone else. So no, thank you. And literally, I just put my head down. I can remember today. And I just walked out, literally. I just felt, you know, embarrassed, that walk of shame, literally, and just walked out like, all right, you know. Cool, you know, you took the courage and there you go, you got rejected. So we do face rejection from time to time, you know, you get the no's thinking you're going to get a yes.
So I can see from your experience that rejection did not affect you to the point of not allowing you to have a good relationship now, because now you're married.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if you allowed that to get to you, today you would be by yourself.
Exactly, it was quite sad, obviously. I felt really bad, and I didn't make eye contact with this person for a while.
I can't be surprised.
But then I was like, okay, oh well, at least I know, so I'm not gonna be there daydreaming and thinking maybe he's the one, and you know, when are we gonna be together? I just moved on, literally, and now I'm married. Now? It's going to be 3 years in November.
Nice.
So.
I think rejection is part of life, really, because we all face it at some point. We face it in our childhood, we face it growing up. It's just a thing that we do need to learn to deal with. But what I find interesting as well is sometimes a person can feel that they've been rejected when that actually isn't even the reality. So I'll give an example of, for example, when people are looking for jobs, I get to interview people from time to time for different positions in the work that I do. And there are times when maybe I've interviewed like 3 candidates and they were all really, really good, but then I had to choose. I had to choose one that would be suitable for the role. And many times that choice is really, really hard because they're all really good. And the one that we supposedly rejected, it wasn't because they were bad in any way, or you know, they didn't have the criteria for that position, but it's just that the other one maybe had a little extra something, a little bit more experience, maybe passed a bit more confidence in the interview than the other one, but that for that person that got a no, it was like, oh my God, I'm rubbish. What's the point of me looking for a job because I keep getting rejected? And they don't actually realise that the interviewer thought they were really good, and if they had 2 positions, they would have got it as well.
Yes, and you see that many people, they feel this way. They already arrive into those conclusions because perhaps they have felt rejected before. They faced rejection before. Maybe they felt rejected when they were younger. Like, for example, when I was I was young, I was a child, and you know that some parents, they tend to do that without realizing. They kind of go for one child. They have this. We see that, the children can see that clearly, but they do not realize many times that they have kind of a preferred ones, or this one is so much beautiful, this one is so nice, this one is so this one is so that. Oh, let's go with someone so to this place, and then the other ones that is left out, that's the one to start arriving to those conclusions. Why is it that this one is pretty, so nobody says that I'm pretty? Or why is it that this person is called to do this and I'm never called to do that? So many people as well feel that rejection in life, and especially if they see that this a cycle, something happened in their lives, they carry a those feelings with them. They carry those feelings of rejection with them. What do those feelings say to them? These thoughts, those feelings say to them that they are good for nothing, that they are not beautiful, they are not good enough. So when they feel that rejection before, they start carrying that kind of feeling with them, and they take it with them to situations like that. So situations where you said they are not even being rejected, It just happened that you only could choose one. If you could choose two, then you take both, right?
That's it.
But they saw it that way because of the way they saw themselves. And this happened also in the love life as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly, and in many areas of people's lives, and like you mentioned, they carry that rejection inside of them. So it's not like they're being rejected by people, by their manager or their family, but because inside of themselves they think, you know what, I'm the rejected one. So it's like that's how they go. It's like a person who thinks a lot. You can see in their facial expression, they're always like that, always dazed and, you know, their head down and shoulders down. And it's the same way a person who is that feels rejected, they have like this weight on them. It's like that.
Well, it's because it's all those things. It's like one thing on top of the other, isn't it? Because if you don't deal with one type of rejection and it just stays there, and then something else happens, and it's like then that goes on top and that goes on top, and you do end up you're full of all this rejection, and it is heavy and it's so difficult to deal with that it's like anything you do seems to be wrong. Yeah. Everything you try to do, it doesn't seem to work because of all that baggage that you have.
Exactly, and that's why so many people go like that into a relationship.
Yeah.
Maybe they were betrayed. It was a rejection, big rejection that they felt. So when they go into a relationship, they carry that with them, that fear of being rejected again, of not being good enough. So the way that they will react, the way that they're going to behave in that relationship will actually bring problems to the relationship. And they arrive to their conclusions again, you know what, because I'm nobody, I'm not good enough, and all those things. They can carry that to the interview. How many people, they have so many more skills than others, and they are not picked for the job. Why? Because of their body language, because of the way they behave, the way they show, they pass zero confidence. They have so much to give, but they have no confidence. Why? Because of those feelings that they are carrying with them because of past rejection.
I've actually seen that, back to the job interviews, I've seen that in job interviews. I've always wanted to say, look, sit up, stop. Literally, I had one girl once that she came in and she put her hand on the table during an interview. Wow. And I was like, she had qualifications, because if she didn't, we wouldn't have called her for the interview. She had good experience, but the way she portrayed herself in the interview, there's no way we could offer her a job like that. But she was really nice. That's the thing. If she'd been a bit more confident, maybe, you know, things would have been different.
And sometimes the one that doesn't have much of the skills, but they're really confident and they're bubbly, they speak like they know what they're saying, they get the job, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you can see that the problem is not just rejection by itself. What happens there, the rejection. The problem happens when you start rejecting yourself. Because there are so many people that they face rejection in life, but they use that as a strength. Do you know what? I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to prove that I can. They use that as a strength. They use that as something to learn more, to try again. Okay, this door did not open. I'm going to go for another one. Oh, I couldn't make it this time. I'm going to go for it again until I make it. But when you reject yourself, when you start carrying those feelings, means that you are already rejecting yourself. You are going to the interview already rejecting yourself. You are going to, maybe you know already how to drive, but you go to the driving test fearful, panicking, but you know how to drive. You're already rejecting yourself. There are so many things that you enter, you want to do in life, but you don't do it, you don't achieve it because you are rejecting yourself. So how can you deal with that? How can you stop feeling this way? How can you overcome this kind of feeling? How can you overcome the way you feel about yourself because of all those things that are in you? The only way for you to actually overcome that, this is our advice to all of you, and we can say to you that it works because there was a before and after in our lives as well, because we felt rejected before. I felt rejected before. I used to have a lot of low self-esteem to the point of even wanting to kill myself, to the point of trying to commit suicide because of the way I thought, I felt about myself. So how did I overcome that? And how can you overcome that? The only way is for you to have a relationship with God. There is no other way. We are not talking about religion. We are talking about a relationship with a God who is real And he can change the way you feel about yourself. He can take away the way you are feeling inside, the sadness, the pain, the fears. Everything will go away. And you know what? When you start having a relationship with God, investing on this, you are going to start to see yourself the way he sees you. So even your self-esteem will change, isn't it, ladies? Yeah. The way you see yourself will change. So maybe I am saying now about relationship with God. Maybe you got even to the point of thinking that even God does not want you. That, you know what, I don't think even God will want me because I make so many mistakes. You know, I believe God is good and he's good for everyone else. But me, you know, I don't think this is really for me. You're already rejecting yourself to the point of thinking God doesn't want you. No, you're very, very, very wrong. That's not what he says. Do you know what he says about you? I'm going to say to you now in actually his own words. He says like this, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord." This is him. This is God saying to you, thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you a future and a hope. These are the kind of thoughts that God has for you. Not to reject you. He accepts you. And he wants you to have a good future. He wants you to have a transformed life. Like our lives is today. Our lives were not like this before. But after we had a relationship with him, everything changed. And you can be sure that this relationship is going to help you even with your choices. When you receive a no, you know, from now on, we are going to receive no's. People will reject us, but you know what? You have the strength and the faith to cope and to face whatever you have to face. All right? So this is our message to all of you today and how you can overcome rejection once and for all. Okay? So thank you so much for being with us. And next week, we're going to come back with a new topic, helping all of you. So if you have any questions or any doubts, you can send it to us by email to godlywooduk@uckg.org. Also, if you'd like to book an appointment to speak to any of us personally, if you are in the UK, in London, you can also submit your request to this email address. Thank you so much for being with us, and see you next week with one more topic. Bye-bye, ladies.
Bye.